All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining the City of Kingston Heritage Area Commission and Historic Landmark Preservation Commission for our joint monthly meeting of each respective commission. Today is Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I'm the planning director and the host for our virtual meeting this evening. Kyla D-Day, the assistant planner, will be co-host. Before we begin our meeting, we would like to go over a few meeting guidelines to help navigate the system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We are now using the Zoom webinar-based format, so all commissioners and applicants have received specific joining instruction as panelists. As panelists, you will be visible and able to speak once arriving at the meeting. Guests will have the option to use the chat and can be unmuted or muted. All guests will be present as view-only attendees unless we promote them to panelists, at which time they will be visible and able to be heard. As host, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute buttons. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commissioner or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand. As the host, either I or the chair will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners and transcript recording. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city website at a later date. Also note that this meeting is being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel. In lieu of public speaking, we requested all comment to be received by 2 p.m. on Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Comments could have been emailed to skhill@kingston-ny.gov, hand-delivered, placed in regular mail, or in the Dropbox at City Hall. No comments have been submitted. All meeting materials, applications, supporting documentation may be found on the city website by going to www.kingston-ny.gov. Once on the homepage, scroll to the bottom under meetings where you see the joint meeting posted. Click on an appropriate link for meeting agenda and materials. If at any time you have an audio issue, send a text message to the following number, 845-443-0416. I will repeat the number again, but be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number again to text is 845-443-0416. As the organizer for today's meeting, I reserve the right to lock and close the meeting, to eject anyone who has behaved inappropriately, or to enter into attorney-client conference if needed. On behalf of the commissions, I wish to thank everyone for your continued patience during this unique time and wish you and your family good health. I will now call the meeting to order at 6:37 p.m. and I turn the floor over to Chairman Hayes Clement for the Heritage Area Commission, who will be followed by HLPC Chairman Mark Grumblatt to introduce their respective commissions and to consider adoption of the most previous meeting minutes. Hayes, you are up.
Thank you, Sue. I'm Hayes Clement. I'm the chairman of the Heritage Area Commission and also a member of the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission. It looks like we have a quorum, but I will confirm that by calling the roll. I'm Hayes Clement. I'm here. Bonnie Howland.
Here.
Dean Barnes.
Here.
Nettie Morano.
Here.
Janet Marr.
Here.
Michael Del Priore. I will note Michael's absence. And Kevin McAvoy. I will note Kevin McAvoy's absence, but we do have a quorum, and I hereby convene the meeting of the Heritage Area Commission. First order of business for the Heritage Area Commission is the adoption of the minutes of our February 3rd, 2022 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those?
Yes, and just to note, Hayes, I wasn't at that meeting, so I can't vote on them, I think. I did read them, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have any concerns or suggested amendments to the minutes as presented? Do I hear a motion to approve the Heritage Area Commission minutes of February 3rd, 2022?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. That motion's on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Bonnie,
Aye.
you have to recuse. I'm sorry.
I recuse. I apologize. I even just said it to you,
So
too. I
Bonnie, you will
recuse.
note is recusing. Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I will now turn it over to Mark Grunblatt, the chairman of the Heritage Area, or the HLPC.
Thank you, Hayes. I'm Mark Grunblatt. I chair Historic Landmark Preservation Commission. I'll call the roll of members present. Nettie Morano,
Here.
Hayes Clement,
Here,
Robert Tonner,
Sorry, here.
I'm Mark Grunblatt. I'm also here. I note the absences of Kevin McAvoy and Andrea Putes. All right, has all members of HLPC had a chance to review the minutes from February 3rd? Looks like everyone has. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
So moved, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Second from Hayes. Any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie,
Aye.
Hayes,
aye.
Robert.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative to approve the minutes of February 3rd. All right, back to you, Hayes.
I would suggest we take the HLPC first on the consideration of the next agenda item, Sue.
Is your position advisory to us on this one, Hayes?
Yes.
Then I agree that makes the most sense. All right. Then the first order of business for HLPC is 9 through 17th and 21 North Front Street and Fair Street Extension. This is one that has been pending before us since 2019. I know that not everyone here has been with it from the beginning, but it's going to require a more detailed than typical motion on the floor. Before I present a motion, are there any open questions? Has everyone had a chance to go take a look at the materials that were submitted by the applicant with the samples of the roofing material, the siding material, and paint colors that they're proposing? Yes. All right, looks like everyone has. I know two of you signed in before me. Are there any questions that have arisen after you've gotten a chance to take a look at those? Or anything that you still feel is an open question you'd like to address with the applicant while they're here? All right. Hearing none, I am going to launch into a fairly lengthy motion. Please bear with me. All right. Findings of fact as basis for preservation notice of action on the Kingstonian project, March 3, 2022. The Historic Landmark Preservation Commission for the City of Kingston makes the following findings, reached in accordance with review procedures set forth in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code. The following determinations regarding the issuance of a preservation notice of action for the development proposal known as the Kingstonian address material submitted by the applicant as well as submissions from consultants and interested members of the public. The HLPC further notes that the evidentiary record included material offered for consideration of the closure of Fair Street Extension and issues concerning massing, scale, visual elements, fire and public health and safety issues, and uses at the project site. The aforementioned material has been thoroughly reviewed and considered to determine if the project is compatible with the historic character of the Stockade Historic District. The HLPC commissioners present find as fact that the Kingstonian, located at 9 through 17 and 21 North Front Street and Fair Street Extension in the Stockade Historic District by applicants Kingstonian Development LLC and JM Development Group and owners Kingstonian Development LLC and City of Kingston, if done according to the plans reviewed prior to and at this meeting, is compatible with the historic character of the Stockade Historic District for the following reasons. The proposed work is to take place at parcels presently occupied by a City of Kingston on-grade parking lot, an abandoned portion of public roadway, including also two structures, a warehouse building and an abandoned restaurant, along with associated site improvements. Based on the resources HLPC customarily consults, we understand that the existing warehouse structure does not appear on the 1858 map of Ulster County by J.H. French, is depicted as a smaller structure on the 1870 Beers map of Rondout, Kingston, and Wilbur, and is shown on the 1914 Codwise maps. A documentation in the New York State Cultural Resource Inventory System was studied, and it's recognized under two entries that the structure was built in either the 1870s or 1880s as a three-story frame hotel. That structure was altered with bricked over frame siding, a removal of a porch, adding a one-story brick section to the front, and creating an L shape circa 1946. Though not an exhaustive list of reference materials, HLPC can reasonably estimate the construction and historical transitions of this building. The proposed work will involve the demolition of existing structures, construction of a 420 vehicle parking garage, approximately 9,000 square feet of retail and restaurant space, a 32-room boutique hotel, 143 mixed residential units, including 14 affordable units, an open pedestrian plaza with public-oriented amenities, and Americans with Disability Act compliant walking bridge connecting the project with the adjoining Kingston Plaza. This work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property. The HLPC has further reviewed the comprehensive December 16, 2019 secret negative declaration issued by the City of Kingston Planning Board as our lead agency in light of the Kingstonian Project and Preservation Notice Action criteria pursuant to Section 405-64B. In this regard, the HLPC agrees with the lead agency's negative declaration statements in determining that there are no significant adverse environmental impacts posed by the Kingstonian development in terms of traffic, historic district impacts, visual, character of neighborhood, or other areas of environmental concern. Please see 6 NYCRR Part 617.7. The HLPC recognizes the intended use of colors will be selected from the Benjamin Moore Historic Color Collection as Branchport Brown, HC 72, Stonington Gray, HC 170, Chelsea Gray, HC 168, Monterey White, HC 27, and Kingsport Gray, HC 86, as depicted on the drawing entitled Kingston Paint Selection, dated 2/1/22 and submitted by Scott Dutton, RA. The HLPC heard and considered concerns expressed during a public hearing regarding the reflective quality of the exterior glass depicted on a rendering of the project, and the HLPC confirms that clear glass with low E coating will be utilized as described by Scott Dutton, RA. The HLPC heard and considered various architectural concerns raised in response to a design presented at the January 10, 2022 public hearing pertaining to design elements such as recessing storefront entrances along North Front Street, provision of canopies over entries, and upgrading the corner entry. And it concludes that these have been adequately addressed with respect to design intent for color, scale, and patterning as represented in 3D architectural renderings prepared by Scott Dutton, RA, and must be followed. Based on the established record, the HLPC does not agree with the project opponent's claims that contemplated demolition will detrimentally impact the historic character of the neighborhood, or that the project as a whole is out of scale for the neighborhood. The HLPC also finds that concerns raised regarding the number of affordable housing units incorporated into the Kingstonian project are beyond the scope of our preservation notice of action. Moreover, the HLPC has examined the project opponent's other conclusions, submissions, and reports, and it determines that the weight of extensive evidence in the administrative record supports the findings set forth herein. In further support of this conclusion, the HLPC references and hereby incorporates the following documentation, which has been submitted of record in the Kingstonian matter. 1, January 12, 2022. Letter from Michael Moriello, together with the exhibits annexed as provided to the City of Kingston Common Council and copied to HLPC. 2, visual simulations, depictions, and submissions offered by the applicants and Scott Dutton, RA, to date. 3, November 17th, 2021 letter from Michael Moriello, together with documentation annexed as follows. A, City of Kingston Stockade Area Historic District Map provided by Mr. Alan Aden to Christopher Zell, PLS. B, November 17, 2021 letter from Joseph E. Diamond, PhD. C, October 8th, 2019 letter by Joseph E. Diamond, PhD. D, August 28th, 2019 warehouse report by Dennis M. Larios, PE. 4, November 11, 2021 Kingstonian project architectural refinements comparison as provided by Scott Dutton, RA. 5, November 30, 2018 asbestos abatement air monitoring report for the Herzog's warehouse by McLaughlin Properties, LLC. 6, February 23, 2021 affidavit of John Bonafide, together with all court exhibits annexed in case index number EF 2020-2079. 7, Industrial Code Rule number 56, asbestos clearance grading and asbestos containing material clearance compliance by McLaughlin Properties, LLC. 8, December 16, 2019 secret negative declaration of environmental significance as issued by the City of Kingston Planning Board and circulated to HLPC pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617.12 subsection B. 9, January 14, 2022 court affidavit of Chris Ray, City of Kingston Fire Chief in case EF 2020-00029. 10, January 30, 2022, preservation notice of action criteria memorandum is submitted by Scott Dutton to the HLPC and HAC. 11, all testimony and submissions of record before the HLPC and HAC by the applicants, their collective consultants, and favorable members of the public during the course of review. 12, August 14, 2019, demolition permit application. 13, August 14, 2019, application for building permit. 14, August 14, 2019, application fee check payment. 15, August 14, 2019, Heritage Area Commission application for review. 16, August 14, 2019, Historic Landmark Preservation Commission application for review. 17, September 26, 2019, Joint Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission, Heritage Area Commission, and Kingston Planning Board record, including all public comment. 18, September 5, 2019, Historic Landmark Preservation Commission meeting record, including all public comment. 19, September 18, 2019 Heritage Area Commission meeting record, including all public comment. 20, January 10, 2022 joint public hearing of the HLPC and the HAC and the record, including all public comment. 21, February 3, 2022 joint meeting of the HLPC and HAC meeting record, including all public comment. 22, all other proceedings up to this joint meeting on March 3rd, 2022. The HLPC recognizes the substance of a communication from Scott Dutton, RA, dated January 30, 2022, addressing the review criteria of Section 405-64B and 405-64C, and agrees with its major conclusions. The HLPC's specific responses to components of that submission are as follows. 1, the effect of the proposed work in changing, destroying, or affecting the exterior features of the landmark or landmark district upon which such work is to be done. The HLPC finds that the demonstrable change within the Stockade district associated with the project will not be detrimental to the district as a whole. The HLPC's review of evidence regarding comparison scale, massing, materials, architectural features, provision for parking, and contemplated uses support the HLPC's conclusion that the development will enhance the district. The HLPC agrees with the statement found in brief 14, which states that, quote, new construction should be, interior quote, differentiated from historic buildings, end quote. Though this brief specifically applies to additions onto historic buildings, the Kingstonian buildings are in essence architecturally consistent additions to the Stockade district as a whole. And final quote. 2, the relationship between the results of such work and the exterior architectural features of other neighboring improvements. The HLPC has determined that the project adequately takes into consideration the immediate surrounding buildings, in addition to the various points of consideration under the first criterion as noted above. HLPC further confirms that elements such as recessed doorways for the entrances off North Front Street are appropriately incorporated in line with the existing streetscape, along with other architectural vernacular to complement the surrounding district. 3, the factors of aesthetic, historical, and architectural values and significance, architectural style, design, arrangement, texture, material, and color. The HLPC finds, based on a review of the documents and sample materials submitted by the applicant, that the project satisfies these key style and design factors. Further, the HLPC credits the explanation of evaluation under this criterion as authored by Scott Dutton, RA, noting also the reference to the inspection report dated August 28, 2019 by Bernier and Larios, PC, with a determination that the current structure would not be, quote, economically or practically accomplished on this property unless the current warehouse structures are removed. The HLPC has confirmed that no significant historic features remain on the current structure and that its siding, cornice details, covered walkway, shutters, and windows were removed in the 1950s or thereabouts. 4, the special character and aesthetic interest that any structure involved adds to the area. The HLPC concludes that the new construction to the west side of Fair Street Extension will be unique, respecting the character of the historic district and properties by incorporating existing features as discussed above. East side construction will not only revitalize a historic property, but return the character of a former amenity which has otherwise been lost. The HLPC finds persuasive the earlier review of the project's design by the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. 5, The difficulty or impossibility of reproducing any structure involved because of its design, texture, material, position, or detail. The HLPC agrees, based on its review of the historical data, that strict replication and reproduction of historic structures would be counter to the intent of understanding the historical significance and progression of history which the city seeks to promote. 6, the HLPC thus concludes, after reviewing the entirety of the administrative record, that the following statements are accurate. The proposed construction on the west side of Fair Street Extension will be unique and does not need to reproduce any kind of original structure. Elements of the vernacular architecture in the Stockade District will be utilized in the development of the exterior. And the proposed construction on the east side of Fair Street Extension will honor, but not duplicate, the details of the historic hotel building, especially because the existing building will be wholly reconstructed and no extant features from the original building remain. The National Park Service Preservation Brief 14 recommends that new construction should be differentiated from historic buildings. The exterior of the building will be constructed in such a way that materials, proportions, and general yet simplified details will be implemented, but a direct copy of the original building will not be created. Therefore, the proposed construction will reflect a progression of architectural style of the Stockade Historic District, which is consistent with Preservation Brief 14's recommendation. The HLPC supplements its above listed findings with the following considerations and requirements. It is the HLPC's understanding that the record made herein by applicant fully complies with the procedural and substantive requirements set forth in the City of Kingston zoning law, which govern the issuance of a preservation notice of action. The HAC has concurred. All right. I think we need to hold off on this last one. We are hopeful that the HAC will concur with the HLPC findings, and together both agencies have endeavored to complete a comprehensive review process, which had included an extended opportunity to be heard and consideration of all submissions of record. That pursuant to section 405-65 subsection D2 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, this preservation notice of action shall be valid for 1 year, a period that the HLPC may extend based on a showing of good cause by applicant. Any material changes or additions to the plans or works specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being performed. That the applicant must perform preventive maintenance to be accomplished so that the buildings, spaces, elements, and details set forth in the project are appropriately preserved. Maintenance of all paint material and screening, including associated trim and trailing, must be provided by the applicant. This commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's building safety provision or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. All demolition at the project site shall be completed in accordance with the City of Kingston's code and pursuant to all statutory requirements. Based on the preceding findings of fact, it is proposed to resolve that on this 3rd day of March, 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein, and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Hayes, thank you. Is there any discussion from Historic Landmark Preservation Commission members concerning the motion on the floor? Any questions, any corrections, any concerns? Nettie? Oh, all right. I saw an unmute and a remute. Confused me. All right, hearing no further discussion and having a second on the motion, I will call the roll. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Hayes Clement,
Aye.
Robert Tonner.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Okay, Hayes, I'm handing this one off to you.
Okay, do any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions of the applicants or any issues to discuss about the proposed, the HLPC's preservation notice of action? Any questions? Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commission member to endorse the findings of fact in the preservation notice of action as approved by the HLPC?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Mike Del Priore, second.
Thank you, Michael. Duly made and seconded motion on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Let me just note the ayes have it. Just a note for the record, Michael Del Priore, who had been noted absent at the beginning of the meeting, joined us a little later. So he is present. Thank you. Next, we move on to HAC Applications. First item of business is 354 Broadway.
Whoa, I think we've got one more joint application, Hayes. It's 33 Hone Street, am I correct?
Sorry, it's kind of mixed up on the, yeah, correct.
Thank you very much to both boards. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and good night.
Good night.
Do you want to present it, Mark?
Should we note the speakers at that particular moment? It was Mike Moriello and Scott Dutton.
Yeah.
All right. Hayes, would you like to take up 33 Hone Street?
The next item on the agenda is 33 Hone Street, an application to install a 6-foot high privacy fence and an 8x12 shed. Nina Marinova is the applicant and owner. Nina, I see you here. Can you sort of just give us a little overview of what you want to do?
Yes, hi, how are you? So yes, I wanted to put a storage shed in the back corner of the property. I noted it on the survey when I emailed it. Yep, right there, with the 5-foot offset from each side. The privacy fence, I'd like for that to be on the right-hand side of the property if you're looking towards Hone Street. And that's about it. The shed comes unpainted, so I was going to just match the house, which was painted in historical colors.
Does this pass muster with the planning department staff, Sue?
Yes, yes. It's actually been in front of the planning board already as well.
Any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions or concerns for the applicant? Do I hear a motion to approve the application to install a privacy fence and shed at 33 Hone Street as presented?
Hayes, just recognize it as a type 2 first.
Well, first, do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
Thank you, Janet. That motion's on the floor. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Nettie Morano. Nettie, are you still with us?
Where did she go? She must have gotten kicked off.
We still have a quorum. Janet Marr?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Next, do I hear a motion to approve the installation of a 6-foot high privacy fence and an 8x12 shed at 33 Home Street as presented?
Dean
So
Barnes.
moved.
Dean Barnes makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second, Mike.
Michael Del Priore seconds. That motion's on the floor. Any debate on this? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I'll turn it over to you, Mark.
I think we need to have quorum by getting Nettie back on here. If we consider this without a quorum, we're in trouble. I don't think it would be
Right.
valid.
Let me see if I can get a hold of her. I don't know what happened.
She seemed to freeze on screen is what I could tell. So I'm not sure.
Just to note, here it still has a quorum. There she comes.
Yep, okay.
Nettie, can you hear us?
You need to unmute, Nettie. There you go.
I'm back. Okay,
Yay, you're back.
I got kicked out. I'm so sorry. It was right about before a vote. So catch me up, please.
They were able to go ahead without you on HAC because they still had quorum. We, however, on HLPC needed everyone here because we have two absences.
Got it. I'm here.
So welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, were you able to hear Ms. Marinova's explanation of her plan?
Yes, I was right to the part where we were going to call for a vote.
Okay. All right. Does any member of HLPC have a question for the applicant? Yes, Robert?
Yeah, are you planning to remove part of the blacktop to put in the fence, or how is that going to work?
I think it's just installed directly into the blacktop.
Huh. Okay.
I think they would probably have to drill holes into the blacktop. There's like the fence that I was looking at has like a space that doesn't lay directly on the blacktop or the soil, so you can level it that way. So in other words, there may be like 1 inch off the ground in some spots and like 2 inches off the ground in other spots.
Okay. I'm just a little, just questioning drainage and all that kind of stuff. How is it now? I mean, works well now with the blacktop and.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problems that I've noticed. I mean, I've only had the house for 2 months, so.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I just bought it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it just seems to me, it just seems to me that, it'd be a perfect, if you took up a little blacktop you put the fence, there's a little bit of planting area or whatever. If you're going to go along the outside of the sidewalk there.
It would, my application was just for the 40 feet of fence, so it would come to about halfway where the house is, so not all the way up to the sidewalk. There's a couple of windows, there's a unit downstairs, there's a couple of windows, so I didn't want to block the sunlight there.
Okay, gotcha.
So basically the fence would only give privacy for the backyard and maybe like one parking spot in the driveway. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yep, got it. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from an HLPC member? All right. Then I move that the commissioners present find as fact that the proposed renovation.
Mark, recognize seeker for your board, please.
Yes. All right. I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
So moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion on the seeker declaration? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, dear.
Robert?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Okay, moving on to I will move that the commissioners find as fact that the proposed installation of a fence at 33 Hone Street and a shed in the Rondout Historic District by owner Nina Maranova, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. This work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, but the installation of the shed and fence will not cause a permanent change to the building or any features contributing to the district. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to additional work being carried out. That the commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on the third day of March 2022, the commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described therein and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
So move, Robert.
So seconded, Robert?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion on the proposal for 33 Hone Street? All right, hearing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Maranova.
Thank you all.
You're very welcome. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Oh, all right.
It looks like the HLPC agenda is finished, Sue.
It is. I was going to say, Mark, if you want, you can adjourn.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
Before you adjourn? Sue, is the expectation we're going to be back to meeting in person next month? How is that going to work?
We will know by the middle of March if the governor continues to extend the emergency order for the state, which is the underlying reason we're allowed to continue meeting virtually. But the way things are trending, I would not be surprised if we will be meeting in person next month.
Okay. I make a motion for the HLPC meeting to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Robert.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. We stand adjourned. Have a wonderful month, all. See you then.
Okay,
Bye,
back
Mark. Thank you.
to HAC business. Next item of business is 354 Broadway, a proposed renovation to the front facade of an existing building. Shaya Ma and Patricia Ma are the applicants and owners. Are anyone here representing the applicants?
There are,
Expecting them tonight?
I don't see anybody.
I did expect them.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to them since they submitted, but I did not realize they would be absent.
The application leaves a lot of things to be determined. So I'm not sure I'm comfortable considering it, given sort of the open-endedness of it around certain issues like color. Anybody disagree?
we
Do I
can
hear-
go on and we can come back to this one if they do join before we need to adjourn the meeting. Why don't we take care of the individuals that are here?
Next item of business is 58 of Broome Street, an application for roof replacement. Stephen Borgia, applicant, and Dina Perry, owner. Anyone representing these applicants present?
Yes, Richard Bertuzzi representing Burrell Construction.
Thank you, Richard. Can you give us just a brief overview of what we're talking about?
On this house, we are just doing the main part of the house. We are not doing any of the porches. It's gonna be Owens Corning shingles, and the color she picked is brown wood, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, and on this house, I noticed that they have the old style trough gutters that come down. They're actually part of the roof. They were not touching any of that. We're leaving that exactly the way it is.
Any questions of the applicant from a Heritage Area Commission member? Any issues with this from the planning department staff?
No.
Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Second by Bonnie Howland.
Thank you, Bonnie. That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the application for a roof replacement at 58 of Broome Street as presented?
So moved, Mike.
Michael Del Priore makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Nettie Morano, second.
Second by Nettie Morano. Thank you, Nettie. That motion is on the floor. Any debate on this? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Thank you, Richard. The ayes have it.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Next
Thank
item,
you.
next item of business is 571 Broadway, an application to install a new business identification signage. Pablo Chavez Espinoza, applicant, and Nelson Sousa, owner. Anyone here representing these applicants?
Pablo Chavez
yeah.
is here. Can you
Pablo.
unmute yourself, Pablo?
Pablo, you need to unmute yourself. Can you do that for him, Sue?
No, I can only ask him.
Ah,
I can mute him. I can't unmute, I don't think. Pablo, maybe if you are on by your phone, I'm not sure, maybe *6. There you go.
here you go. Welcome, Pablo. If you could just give us a little an overview of what you're looking to do here.
Yes, I need to change my sign from the size is Taquería Mi Pueblito. And gonna be like this in the front. And the top is gonna be, and the front is this one, Taquería Mi Pueblito. And this is gonna be the outside.
The signage on the building and the freestanding signage, that's going to be illuminated or no?
Yes, illuminated.
Both?
Yeah, they're internally illuminated signs. They're using pretty much what the Dunkin' Donuts had in place before.
And it's within code and the design standards, Sue?
Yes.
Do any commission members have questions of the applicant? Or concerns or suggestions for the applicant? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type
Can I
2?
just, one thing staff
Go ahead.
had noted, because this is, a unique kind of situation here where you have a front lawn area. We thought that like a planter expand, a little landscaping around the base of the sign to, some additional plantings would be a nice additional improvement along the Broadway corridor.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Espinoza?
Yes, I can be okay.
Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
Thank you, Janet. Motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the proposal to install 2 signs at 571 Broadway as presented, with the provision also that the applicant install landscaping around the freestanding sign?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Thank you, Bonnie. Do I hear a second?
Mike,
Nettie
second.
Morano.
Michael Del Priore seconds. Thank you, Mike. That duly made motion is on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Espinoza.
Thank you.
Next item of business is an application for an addition to an existing home at 22 Green Street. Abe and Eileen Uschitel are the applicants and owners. Abe, I think, yep, Abe is here. Want to just give us a little overview of what you're proposing, Abe?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being able to share this and seek your approval. So our home was built about 120 years ago, and through the years, it has changed a lot. The most recent change involved an addition that was built on the back. And when we purchased, we kind of knew that we wanted to restore some of the materials to higher quality materials and stuff that was more in line with the rest of the house. We would also like to add a little bit of space. And we have a need to rebuild our porch. And we want to extend the front of the house to go over the porch. So that's one of the projects. There's another home in the neighborhood that has a similar over the porch kind of a room extension that we have been looking at every time we walk our dog for the last many years, and we'd like to do something similar. And we also, in the back where the addition was, that was the more recent part of the structure, that's what we want to expand. It's a little, if you go to one of the views from the back, you can see that the home tapers in a little bit between the first floor and there. So you can see that the square footage of the first floor is reduced when you get into the second floor. The second floor is our bedroom. We want to basically make it so that it's the same square footage. So every aspect of our project is acting within the existing footprint. We're not adding any height on. We are going to be finishing the attic and making it into a mezzanine, and adding a staircase that goes up there that bumps out of the side a little bit, but it's the section of the house that already bumps out where it's above the existing side entrance. So again, we're working with all the existing footprint, and we're keeping all of the materials consistent and the colors consistent with what the house has had throughout the years. And I'll also add that we're working with an architect that a reputable local architect that we feel has given us a lot of thought to make it consistent, and a builder that is based in Kingston, who we're confident is going to do this with a very high level of detail and quality. So we're very excited about this project, and it gives us space, which is hard to find, because we had looked for other homes to purchase in Kingston, and it wasn't so easy. So we figured, well, why not just make our home, what it deserves to be.
Abe, the application references siding that will be painted cedar clapboard. Is that replacing what appears from the pictures to be vinyl siding?
Yeah, that's right.
So all the vinyl is going to be coming off?
No, just on the section that's being updated.
Okay. So it'll be painted sort of the same color as the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have questions of the applicant or concerns? Comments?
I like it. This is Bonnie. I really like what the front looks like with that extension over the porch.
I concur.
Pretty.
It'll be an improvement. Thank you.
I like it too. It's very, very carefully thought out. Very nice.
Looks great. Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland, second.
Thank you, Bonnie. That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Nettie Morano.
Aye.
And Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Second, do I hear a motion to approve the application for an addition at 22 Green Street as presented?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Mike,
Janet
second.
Barnes.
Michael Del Priore, second. That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Nettie Morano.
Aye.
And Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Abe. We're looking
Great,
forward
thank
to
you.
the results.
Thank you so much. I welcome anyone to walk past the house uptown and give compliments to our architect, who I think did a great job with the design.
Enjoy.
Look forward
Thank
to
you
it.
so much.
Next item of business is an application to install solar roof panels at 112 West Chestnut Street. Neil Grover, owner and applicant. Neil, thanks for your patience.
Hi, I'm Stephanie with Empire Solar. I'm here
Okay.
as a representative from the solar company.
Want to just give us a quick overview, Stephanie?
Sure. I'm sorry I can't share my video, but I can share my screen if I have permission to do that so that I can share the plans and some site photos.
Kyla, do you want to just share it?
Saying that it's disabled, I need host permission.
That's up to you. I do have the application if you want me to.
I just upgraded you, Stephanie, too.
Oh,
So
okay, great. So let me do this. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to open up our application. So we're proposing the installation of a 5.18 kilowatt roof mounted solar array, which will consist of 14 LG 370 watt panels that will be installed flush to the roof. Based on the elevations of the house, and the vegetation around the property and the surrounding lots, this is not likely to be visible from definitely not from the street. The homeowners might be able to see it from their property, but the neighbors will not. So on this page here, you can see here's the front of the house, and this is where we're proposing to install the panels, which is the southernmost facing roof plane. I'm going to skip through some of the boring specs and electricals and go right to the site photos. So this is a street view. This I took off of Google Street Images. This is obviously during either spring or summer. This next one was the photos that our representative took when meeting with the homeowner. So this is what the house looks like from the street. And these are some of the elevation photos showing the house from different angles. This would be the side that we're proposing the installation for. So as you can see, standing from the ground, it's very hard to see that portion of the house. These were some 3D images that I put together, just showing different angles of what the install will look like, to get a better visual than just imagining the panels on the roof. And that's pretty much it. This is a pretty small system. This would be done in one day once the permit is issued.
Just to note, I mean, it's several large vacant parcels next to this house on the installation side. I don't see where this would be visible to anybody.
Okay, yeah, I was not sure if they were residential or occupied lots next door, so.
It's currently a single very large parcel. The former Black Lion Inn is there.
Yeah. Does anyone have questions of the applicant or Stephanie? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so
Howland.
moved.
Dean Barnes makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland, second.
Thank you, Bonnie. That motion's on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Hayes Clement, I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Second, do I hear a motion to approve the application to install solar panels at 112 West Chestnut Street as presented?
So move, Mike.
Thank you, Michael Del Priore. Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
Thank you, Janet. That duly made and seconded motion is on the floor. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Eddie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you all
Thank-
for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, I really appreciate the commission. Donna does too. Thank you.
All right, everybody have a good night.
Good night.
Any other things we need to discuss, Sue?
No, I know that Kyla sent an email to the other applicant, and they have not joined yet, so I guess we don't know what's going on. Kyla asked her if she was having trouble, told her she could join, just like making a phone call if she wanted. So I'm not seeing she's not on as an attendee yet, so.
Do I hear a motion to table the application from the owners of 354 Broadway for a facade renovation?
Bonnie Hallen, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Dean Barnes.
Any debate on that?
Just one quick comment then is what specifically are you looking for so that when they do come back, we won't have to hold them up again? You're just looking for exact colors, Hayes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to be clear what we make sure
In your
that.
note, she stated she's trying to change the color scheme to stand out from the neighboring building.
Okay.
And it's
Also,
always terrific if somebody can give us a slightly more professional rendering of something.
Okay, that's good to know because I think she might be open to suggestions on the color. I know she said she was looking to do a dark gray or black, but the neighboring building also added black to their storefront. So she wanted it to be, slightly different so they didn't look like the same building.
Gotcha. What kind of business is it?
Right now it's vacant. It was formerly the tattoo parlor. I can show you what it looks like now if you want to take a look.
Would be helpful.
It's, let me just pull it up.
And what's the new business going to be?
She doesn't have a tenant yet. She said that the previous tenant did some damage to the building and she's trying to fix it up so that she could entice, a good tenant. And she said the windows are old and drafty. She wanted to do, heavier insulated windows.
And door, right?
Right, the garage door and the storefront door. And actually, I think the apartment door, she wanted to change all of those to make them sturdier and more energy efficient. She plans to keep the top, but this black here used to be glass, similar to some of the older storefronts. And she said over the years, it's been replaced with plexiglass. So it's starting to look really faded and unappealing. So she wanted to replace this with wood paneling. And this is the color, the area of color I think she was trying to decide. I don't remember what she put on the.
Yeah, I believe below the two storefront windows as well. She wants to.
Right.
It's like a paneling now. And she was talking about putting in panels, like wood panels versus the way it looks now, just like wood slats.
Is it possible to where it's plexiglass now to restore the windows?
I don't think it was windows. I think it was similar to, like Tony's Pizza and
like these modern kind of thing they added to the building.
Yeah, it was kind of a colored glass. I think that's what this used to be. She said it was black. So I think portions of this might still be glass. But she said it's been replaced with plexi in a lot of places.
Got it.
So you can see some of the fading.
Could we would table this until we get something a little more detailed.
Dean?
Yeah, I did see in the rendering that she also wanted to add columns. Could we get more detail on the style of columns she was thinking? Like
This year?
Yeah, I think she said 6. So I think they're gonna be like on either side of the windows and garage and
Okay.
So there is a motion on the floor to table this until next month. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Nettie, okay, and Janet Marr.
Aye.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move, Mike.
Michael Del Priore, do I hear a second?
Second by
Yeah.
Bonnie Howland.
Second by Bonnie, thank you. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. See you next month, maybe in
Thank
person.
you. Yeah, I was gonna say, Stu, you'll let us know in the next invite if we're in person or
Oh, yeah,
Zoom,
no,
right? Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we will definitely let you know which way.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone.
Give her-
Okay,
Okay. Good
everybody.
night, all.
Night.
Good night.